Welcome, I'm the Kaijin Okami, and I was going to wait until tomorrow morning to do this review, but it's 1 o'clock right now and I can't fall asleep. So here's my quickie review of Shin Godzilla. So Shin Godzilla is the newest Godzilla movie in the Godzilla franchise and the first that Toho has done in 12 years. Now, this movie, unlike the other ones, is a completely new universe, a complete reboot. It has nothing to do with the 54 movie because the 54 movie never happened. Whether or not that is a good thing or a bad thing is left up to the viewer. Now, first and foremost, I do want to state that thanks to a friend of mine who, because of her job, she got to see this movie months ago, and she told me to go in expecting an Anno movie, not a traditional Godzilla movie, and she was right. So if you don't go in with that mindset that you're getting something Hideaki Anno wrote, and you want a traditional Godzilla movie, you're probably going to be a bit disappointed. Because I was forewarned of this, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I kind of thought I would. In fact, if you guys remember my trailer review, when I was looking at the trailer, I was kind of iffy. Some things worked for me and other things didn't. Well, I'm happy to say that overall I did enjoy this movie. It has a really good 1984 feel to it, as Japan is not in a bubble in this movie. The whole world is watching what's going on, and that brings a nice bit of realism to this. And the cool thing is that Godzilla shows up and nobody has any idea of what to do with this or how to handle the situation, and it is great. It gives me a feel that the Gamera Heisei trilogy did, which is really nice. Because sometimes you want something realistic at times, especially in this caliber, when it's never been really done before. The music is really well done. There are a lot of little homages to Akira Ifukube's score that they'll play throughout the movie, but I will say it does sound kind of weird at times because they didn't remaster the track, so you just get this like mono-sounding track playing during scenes, and it's cool. But if you're a newcomer to the franchise, that might throw you off, and you might be like, what? Why is this here? This makes no sense. This is distracting. The rest of the music is really good, even though some tracks were ripped right out of Evangelion. The cinematography is truly amazing in this movie. There are a lot of really awesome shots from a far distance. You can see Godzilla in the city, so you get to see everything around him, and it just looks gorgeous. Other scenes that look really good are when there's close-ups of the tanks. You get like a tank from its backside and it's backing up, you're following it. Those shots were gorgeous to look at. Godzilla's breath attack is pretty awesome. I'm not going to go into details with that because it goes into spoiler territory, but I'm going to say that was probably my favorite part of the movie. Also, we do get some actors from previous Godzilla movies showing up in here for cameos. Akira Takarada shows up. You just can't help but love that guy. Unfortunately, there are a lot of negatives with the movie. There's a lot that goes on in this movie, a lot of dialogue, a lot of talking, but it feels like 20 to 30 minutes was just pointless. That the movie could have been shorter because this dialogue could have been cut down. Now, you could make the argument that it might cut down on showing us the situation with how the human characters are reacting to it, and I can see that point. It just didn't work for me fully because there was no character I felt like I could get attached to, because this movie is full of characters. I swear, it feels like there's 100 characters in this thing. And there are scenes that move so quick and so fast that I don't even know what is going on. And, well, props to the guy that had to put the subtitles together in this movie, because the subtitles, oh, this must have been a nightmare to subtitle. It's like there's subtitles everywhere. Over here, we've got a subtitle of the dialogue. We have a subtitle to tell us who the character's name is and what their role is. Then we'll have a subtitle to tell us what location is. It got so bad I was expecting to see a subtitle that said bathroom room B, on first floor, center left corner of office reserved for cabinet members only stall. It was insane. Sometimes it really did get distracting. I feel like I need to watch this movie like 6 more times just to fully understand everything. It was just moving at such a breakneck pace, And yet, as I said, it needed to be shorter because I think those scenes should have been extended a bit while other scenes just fully cut out. I feel like the opening 10 minutes of the movie was actually an hour worth of footage that was just cut down into an abridged form. It was kind of a mess there. This movie has way too many characters. I swear there's like 100 characters in it, and worst off, there's really only 2 whose names you remember. The rest are pretty forgettable. The main girl, as it were, I mean, I can't really say she's the main girl since there wasn't really any main character in this movie, but she's supposed to be an American-born citizen whose grandmother was from Japan. And that's great and all, except we're supposed to believe that she is fully fluent in English and barely speaks Japanese. The problem is, her English is terrible. She barely sounds like she can fluently speak English, and sometimes I don't even think she even knows what she's actually saying in English. So that really takes away from the movie because she's clearly not fluent in English and barely knows Japanese. It just doesn't work. Another negative is the CGI for Godzilla is horrendous. It is awful. He looks like a PS4 video game. I said before that I didn't care for the costume. Well, I guess costume isn't the proper term for this. Design. And I still don't care for the design. The movie didn't do anything to sell me on his design. He still looked stiff and was slow moving. He looked like a zombie, and it still didn't work for me. I don't feel like I need to own the monster art as I was hoping I would. There are times where it looks fine, but ultimately, it's awful. It just doesn't look like Godzilla is there at times. Oh, and the tail actually did not bother me in this movie at all. In fact, the tail was kind of cool. So, compared to the trailers, that was a nice bonus. I enjoyed the tail, especially for something that happens with the tail later on. There is so much to this movie that I haven't been able to process it all. There's still a lot more I want to talk about, but it would go into spoiler territory. So I'm going to save that for another video. Overall, I loved Shin Godzilla. I'm not sure yet where I would place it on my Godzilla list. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. It was really well done. Really good, despite its flaws. I loved it. I just wish that I could actually follow it half the time and that the subtitles weren't everywhere. Well, if you have the chance this week, you should definitely check out Shin Godzilla because it may be a while before it gets released on Blu-ray. Until next time, bye.